Being 6:30, let's call the September
5:30.
10th meeting, 5:30, thank you. September 10th meeting for the Goffstown Sewer Commission to order. All commissioners are present. Ellen Noyes, our administrative assistant, is here. Colin Adams, our selectman representative, is here, and along with Mike Trink, our consultant from Hill Tanner, Mike Yurgo, and Mike Walton from DPW. We also have an invited guest here today from Don Borrow from St. Anselm, so if it doesn't upset anybody, I'd like to move forward and skip over approval of the minutes and public comment, and we'll have a discussion with him so we can get him out of here.
Well, he's waiting for somebody
You
still,
waiting
aren't
for
you?
Bill?
Are you still waiting for somebody?
Yeah, I'm waiting for my boss, Bill Furlong.
All right, well then, thank you for that. We'll back up and go ahead. First item on the agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes from May 14th, 2013. Do I hear any discussions, motions, or otherwise?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of May 14th.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass unanimously, please. Okay. Public comment, there is no public, so at that point, we'll just wait and see if we get anybody. Under new business is St. A's, let's defer that until we have everybody from St. A's College present. Reed Street Temple Court is the next item. Megan sent a letter or email to Will Davis about paving on that, I believe.
Yes, it's here.
A lot of things. You've
Pardon?
got the whole.
Yeah, I just now see that. Mike Yurgo, you want to kind of brief us on what's going on over there?
Will Davis came in a couple weeks ago, did the final payment on the two streets and the driveways. But he's got other punch list items in which he has tried to complete and he's failed to complete to the satisfaction of the DPW and the property owners. And you see these are what you see listed in the punch list in your email. And you also have photos of the fence that's damaged and he hasn't repaired it, or he tried to repair. Photo 1 is the fence he tried to repair. He had to Mount Williams Trucking has demolished the fence on the first day on the job.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after he was told to take the other entrance. And so the fence was destroyed, and we was on a punch list last year, and we finally got Will to put in a new fence. And as you can see, the fence is not in the same location, doesn't have the original hinges or like the hinges. It's supposed to be a removable fence, and he installed it originally 2 feet too high as the height of the fence, so he just took a buzzsaw and just cut it off and made a roller coaster out of the top. And there's other fences that he's yet to complete and repair.
You may not want him to.
So after all this, his contract is expired. His substantial completion and warranty was ended in June of this year.
Are we holding any money on them?
Yeah, we still own. We got money on him still.
How much?
We still own the 2%, which is $2,000, and I think plus the paving, because we haven't paid him for the paving yet.
2% retainage, which is about $2,000.
$2,000 plus the paving. Plus the paving.
I have a retainage escrow of $6,500 as of August 31st. Would that be an amount that you're talking about?
I don't know the numbers. I haven't seen the numbers.
What was the paving? The paving?
I don't know.
We haven't got an invoice from him yet
Okay.
for the final tonnage of the paving. So what we did was we sending this off to him. We also gave him a date.
And that date is?
September 20th.
Yeah.
On the last page.
It's on the last page. Give him till December 20th to complete the work to satisfaction of the town.
Did he do the paving yet?
Yeah, paving's done.
Paving's all done.
Driveways are all done. Paving's completed.
This is mainly fence repairs, plywood.
Private property
They
that he
said
damaged.
Got hit, chain link fence. You know, when they were moving the piles of gravel around, you know, they got pushed up against fences and.
Well, don't give him the retainage and don't pay him for the pavement till everything's done, right?
Right. What we're going to do is you get to September 20th. If he doesn't do it by September 20th, we're going to go get estimates and we're going to have it done.
Exactly.
Pull out of his money. and end this thing once and for all.
Yeah.
I must confess, I haven't been down there. What's the quality of the pavement like?
It was down by.
It was down by Bell and Flynn.
Bell and Flynn, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
criminy Kate.
Yeah,
Okay,
they did the base and they did the top.
all right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, all good.
No, our contract procedures are, if he doesn't meet it, we have the option of,
Yeah,
getting prices from somebody else and take it out of retainage and whatever monies are due him.
that's right. That's what we're gonna plan to do.
I agree.
That's the route we're taking with him.
Okay,
Okay, so,
sounds very good.
and he knows that?
He will when he gets that memo.
It's clearly, I just happened to scan the back page, and it says very clearly, it's until September 20th, and then we'll take out of the, it does say that the amount to, of the current retainage of 2%, so.
Let's hold off on the pavement in case the 2% doesn't cover it.
That, and if
We're
we,
not,
Yeah.
we're slowing that up.
yeah, okay, let's just make sure that everything is done in compliance before we release final payment.
Yeah.
Okay? That's within our purview. Excellent. Okay.
St. A's is here.
Yeah. Gentlemen,
Hey,
thanks
shut
for
up.
coming. And we appreciate it. You can step up, you can sit down there. From what I understand, from what the board understands, is that Mike Yorgo has told us that with the new dormitory facility, you're looking to, or maybe have already routed sewer out towards the front and down St. A's Drive and Elmwood and various things, rather than take a very, from what I understand, very circuitous route around your property to get it out, which I think is great. Am I sort of online with that?
Yes, correct.
So the sewer line's
So that's a
in,
new
or?
proposed,
Pardon?
that's a new proposed dorm.
That's a new, okay.
Is the sewer, has it been constructed yet? Okay, it's proposed to
No.
be constructed.
Okay, the line's supposed to be constructed.
Right.
Right, okay.
Now, for all parties here, and for the benefit of myself and primarily, and for everybody else listening, when you route this sewer and take the other ones offline, is there still flow going down to the metering station?
Yes.
Okay, so we still have to keep that active?
Yes.
Okay, I was thinking at this point, we could discontinue that, but I wasn't.
No, that takes care of the other half of St. A's.
Okay, well, that's what I was wondering, how much, when they eliminated the other residents and put them, the residents up in here, I didn't know if there was still flow going down there or not. So-
Most of the campus goes that direction.
Oh, it does?
You know.
All right.
Okay, so here's the building, and here's where they want to bring it out.
Yeah.
Steve? Here's the building?
Yep.
Yeah.
The
We have it
rigid-
right
They
here.
want to bring it out? Oh.
Comes right
okay.
down here.
Yeah, because the original plan was around the set of dorms. The original plan that was approved by DES and ourselves back a couple months ago.
And your comment, Mike, to me was that we had capacity?
We have 52% capacity in the line, and with them going on, it brings up to 53% of capacity.
Oh.
That line.
So not a big change in our
It's not a
capacity?
big change in flow, no. But there is some, as I presented in the pamphlet, that the outline of the soil flow, but there's also, if you look through the log sheets, which were back in 1997, and when we videotaped the 75,000 feet of pipe, there's a lot of major defects in these 4 segments of lines. As you read through, you get some that's leaking, there's punchers, there's cracked crowns, there's a bunch of leakage. The grade is 0.0044%, which is minimum standard for an 8-inch line. We got a manhole, actually, that's been buried for years, we never knew about it. The camera goes on the water, that proves to us that we could still have the 53% of capacity. So there's some defects, there's some pipes that got actually rocks penetrating through it. That's on the verge of collapse. We TV'd the line a couple weeks ago, much as we could. We still had a high volume of water back then, a couple weeks ago. And the defects are basically where they are today, as they were in 1997.
Just to kind of summarize, Mike, where are the majority of those defects? Are they located in Elmwood or is it out in St. A's Drive?
The Glenwood version of it, the 2 segments in Glenridge is actually the worst.
Okay.
Missing manhole, the rock penetrating through it, the soil visible in some of the wires, plenty of cracked pipe.
Is a new dorm gonna flow through that, or is that
And-
something else?
No, the dorm is flowing.
The new dorm?
Highlighted in yellow, that's where the dorm is flowing
It's gonna
through.
come right down, that's where we have some issues in there. Capacity-wise, we're fine.
This pipe was eventually, at some point in time, Elmwood and Glenridge is supposed to be replaced some point in the future.
Where were they on the CMOM, do you remember, do you know?
Right down in Seymour, they were actually for this year. But we've been following the road plan, so we got off track of,
Mass Road kind of puts
and the
in
Mass
there.
Road put us 3 years behind that, so.
Okay.
Was this public or private? Who owns it?
What, Glenridge? St. A's, we own it.
We own that?
It's a municipal sewer.
And is it on the campus or off the campus?
That's off the campus.
Okay.
This is all off campus.
So that's our
This
pipe.
this is ours. They come in through, apparently, probably up here, right here, as Mike's got saying, it's to manhole 205 at dormitory. So that's where they enter our system, right up into here.
When do you plan on building the dormitory?
We're in process now.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was already occupied, the schools.
No, we just started,
Yeah,
so
okay,
we
so-
just started moving dirt. Occupancies, we're looking for next August.
Oh, okay. So then, I guess at this point, we don't have a problem with capacity. It's a matter of the line, the integrity of the line, being able to handle it.
I mean, we're adding more flow to it than some of these defects that really could happen. I mean, you tell some of these people, because a lot of these laterals and service lines are actually, they're tapped in at 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So you bring up the full volume in these pipes. If you had a crushed pipe that actually collapsed completely and stopped the flow, it's going to flow back in these services.
Can we crunch it up?
Can we do what?
Crunch it, can we crunch it, put it through a grinder and make it?
Oh, what's it gonna cost to restore it?
Sorry, I was saying.
Well, you got options. I mean, you can do. That's one thing you got to weigh out too. If you did point repairs, I mean, you probably there's a lot of point repairs, so it's kind of like.
I gotta ask you, is it worth even
This
trying
guy's
to do
not even
point
worth doing
repairs?
that.
No, it
No.
looks like, I mean, if
'Cause
you
I was
To
looking
me,
at-
it looks like it's a
it's
replacement
cracks every
or
couple of feet.
pipe busting and dragging a new line between manholes.
Well, then you gotta dig
But
every
you gotta dig your
service.
services up anyway.
How many feet is
What's
it?
the accessibility fee that we're gonna get?
It's
They're already discharging. See, this is replacing something they're already discharging on.
A line.
They're taking.
I know, but aren't they adding on new rooms?
No. They're maintaining, as we've been told before, they're maintaining
about 1,000
their
feet.
student population,
So it's $100,000.
so.
We've been
Well,
here
I think
before.
it's going to be more than that because I think the prices
So
have
they're not
gone
gonna
up.
pay any accessibility fee?
It-
because
they're-
they're not increasing their,
The intent is this is to offset existing housing that needs to be, as I understand it.
That is correct. We are we have tripling going on in rooms that were meant for 2 people. And now we're just alleviating that tripling situation with this new dormitory.
so how many students do you have now at St. A's?
We haven't got the official count. The official count comes October 1, but we're right around 1,900.
And you plan on maintaining 1,900?
2,000 is typically the number that we've,
So that's what you plan on maintaining is 2,000?
as of right now, that's the number that we'll.
Oh,
Okay. Because what you're saying to us here is
replacing this
you
one.
don't have to pay an accessibility fee because you don't plan on increasing your student population
Right,
because of the
flows-
dormitory.
yeah, the flows are gonna be the same, yep.
So
Understood.
2,000 would be what we'd be looking at as student enrollment?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a redirection of flow. What this is basically gonna take X amount of flow from the
No, I
from the
just
metering
wanna-
station down through this, to
Get
this
that
line.
stable.
Then goes through the west side metering station.
Because if they start to,
So,
Get the plans together to replace it.
yeah,
If you're only at 52% flow, pipelining might be an option.
that's,
Well, it's collapsed.
what
it's
Mike
right
said, we got
in
some
there.
sags in it too.
Yeah, there's
The
plenty
camera
of
goes
sags.
underwater, and I question whether that's even, worth consideration, Mike.
Because you leave the sags, and what happens is the soak.
Depends how deep they are.
Yeah, well, the sags, you leave the soak in the bottom of the sag, so it actually closes your pipe diameter, but it increases your head value. but you lose.
And then you gotta go back, you gotta dig up every single service connection.
I wouldn't
I'm
pipe
sure
line
that stuff's all old
I would-
already.
I would-
With lining, you don't necessarily
Lining,
have
you
to
don't
dig
have to.
a lot. You can run a cutter through and then they can just cut it.
Right, but I don't do that in Saks, where the camera's halfway under the water.
Right.
It's just
What-
too much.
My concern, here's my concern is the peaking factor. When they get,
Right.
when the dorm peaks and you get, for whatever, early morning showers and everything else, what is it?
Well, if you times it by
Friday night.
6,
Pardon?
Friday night
if you
beer.
times it by 6 for the peaking factor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, and it just, my concern is I don't want to lose this line in the middle of their school season and have, really screw things up that the dorm can't discharge.
Because it's scheduled to be, it's an 8-inch line now, I propose them to do a 15, continue on the 15 through from
Can
Rockland
you
Ave.
phase it?
Well, you really don't want to phase,
No,
you don't want to do that part phase.
if you're gonna phase it,
I mean, like doing Elmwood Ave one year and then doing St. Anselm's another year?
Well, you're not doing St. Anselm's.
St. Elmo's is okay. What our
Oh.
concern is Glenridge,
This section.
right here. Our
Just
concern is
the-
Glenridge and Elmwood.
Oh, okay.
St. Ange is just going to get a point repair and
Well, let us do this. We know their timetable, which is different than what I anticipated. I guess my question is back to you, to you folks is, this was sort of on our game plan, but not on our game plan. And if you don't have a problem, we'll have Mike go through and look at, trying to get this regrade, something we might be able to consider for next year to get this upgraded. And so it's in usable shape for you folks and everybody else down there. The question is, can we look to you for maybe to assist us on this in terms of some participation, or is that, I know it might be premature for this evening, but I just.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Again, would knowing that you guys helped us out moving it from going around where we had to go out to straight to St. Anselm's Drive, we did talk about contributing some monies to kind of help you guys out with the line going down the line to help, so it didn't
Okay.
have issues there. So
Appreciate that. I think at this point,
We need to see what the estimate.
we need to get Mike to work up the plans and estimates, and then we can have, we can tell you've got capacity, and we'll address we're gonna look to addressing the situation so it is a fully, that there's no quote of a major incident happening, especially during school year for you folks.
Right.
And then we'll just go, once Mike has got his estimates and got a plans together, maybe we'll have another discussion at some point, but.
Can I ask you?
That's what I'm thinking.
Is
What?
there any way we could possibly pull that into that Clean Air Act ARA money that we we've applied for?
Clean water?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any more grants left.
I don't know if there's any more grants left, is what.
No, I mean, the one that we just applied for? But we
About the
used it for the
priority.
Manchester wastewater treatment plant.
That's the SRF loan.
Yeah.
priority.
SRF, that's a loan.
Can we amend it? I don't know if it would be amendable in any way to include this if we don't need all that money for this.
Priority list is already published.
Okay.
That's
That
what.
that doesn't mean you can't apply, but you may not make the funded portion of the list.
Well, it's a small project, it's not,
Right,
it's not like Mass Road.
right, and it's all off, it can all be done by traffic detours and things.
Yeah, it's all
Are there-
neighborhood.
Are there any other plans other than this dorm?
That's what I was gonna ask
I
you,
mean,
As of right now, we don't know of any other,
some long term, okay.
it's, short-term stuff, but, I will state that there is a new president there. There has been a lot of change in upper administration, so, I just put that out there, that,
Yep,
if I
no, I
don't want you to
just-
think that I sat here and lied to you,
Well,
I
I
just
just-
don't know
yeah.
what's gonna change,
I just don't want to design this for that dorm and find out you
Yeah.
guys have 2 or 3 other dorms.
No, that's not, again, we.
Lonnie's got a retirement home
yeah.
planned up there.
I don't think he wants to be on campus, I think he wants to be way away.
Yeah, no, it is not, there is no, right now, intent to.
And I think what Mike is planning, Yurgo said, right now it's currently an 8-inch, and he'd like to upsize it to a 15-inch. I mean, that certainly buys capacity in the future for you folks if you're, gonna continue to look to discharge in this direction. And then anything else that gets, because you have a lot of land up in that area, so, it is a dartboard you're throwing things at this point, because nobody really knows, but, I'd rather, we would rather as board be able to say to you that, you can continue to do that.
If we extend the sewer to the traffic light at 114 in St. A's Drive where the vacant building is, like across 114 from the junkyard, would they take this route or would it go up Daniel Plummer Road?
Would be taking that route.
Would you take this route?
Yeah.
So if you went to 15-inch, you could go to the traffic light and across 114 to all the industrial land under the power lines going this way?
If you go in the hole, you would end up using a pump station.
Yeah, we'd have to pump up, but either you'd have to pump this way, or do you go to
For
Daniel
them, because
Plummer?
they have another outlets on the other side of the campus, on the west side, that goes down through Hill Street to another neighborhood and out.
But if you go down Daniel Plummer Road, you got to put a pump station in too, don't you, to get to the other
You can
side of
climb-
114?
You can climb Daniel Plummer all the way to the top of the hill.
Isn't there,
Where
isn't there a
where
sleeve
St.
under
A's
114?
meets Daniel Plummer.
There's a
You-
sleeve currently under one.
Size.
But you go down in that hole, you're gonna end up putting in a pump station, if you go across.
Carlos has asked the question, is there a sleeve under 114? Yes, there is a sleeve under 114. It's designed for, last I remember, and Mike maybe remember, is it was designed as a gravity. But then we knew we would, at some point, you're gonna have to put a pump station in that area just to get up, to continue up, either to Daniel Plummer or to keep coming down towards St. A's. And what Mike is now saying, if we upgrade this to 15-inch, and we look at St. A's in the future, that becomes a more direct, probably the more preferred route for any future expansion along St. A's Drive down towards the old Benchmark building or whatever, and then out into St. A's.
Well, no, not that far.
Pardon?
This is already gonna feed St. A's in the dormitory. They have another outlet. on
No,
the
I'm just
side.
saying, I'm talking hypothetically, what
Oh.
Steve was questioning about being able to get to the traffic lights.
Right.
No, I would go up Daniel Plummer Road, and that way you get the
Okay.
industrial.
Yeah, you pick up all the Cody Park.
Well, that's what I was wondering, that's what I
it'd be a
said.
separate-
That's another discussion
that's a
outside
separate
of
thing
these,
from
out of
this.
these folks.
Because the
Okay.
sewer only goes on St. A's as far as Heald Street, and that's as far
I-
as it goes. And
I
that's
understand, I
quite a
believe
ways.
Steve was asking if we would continue down this
To the
towards
lights, to the
114, or
sleeve.
like
They
114.
wanted to connect to the sleeve.
This is a different project.
So, in the future, outside of them. Okay. Yes. All right. Then I think at this point, the resolve is, we'll keep moving in this direction. Get plans together and see what we can talk about, so we can phase our construction for hopefully next year, and go forward from there. And we'll have another meeting sometime in maybe before the turn of the year.
Okay.
Do we have the green light to proceed in this direction under the construction plans?
I would have, Mike has given comment that you're at 52%, and we have capacity as it is. Our concern is the integrity lasting long enough, and that's our concern. Yes, you have the green light, and there's not a problem with the capacity. We just got to make sure the line can handle it.
Yeah, because I envision them probably doing the sewer line in probably another 2 months or so.
Yeah, but it's still going to probably be done.
But we won't be active till
It won't be
August.
active till next year, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want to hold up the construction phase,
No,
determine whether or not we could run.
No, we're giving you capacity, the capacity's there, you can go hook up. Our concern is, we'd hate to get a call in November of next year or December that the lines collapsed and you got a full dormitory and kids are studying for finals, and now what do you do? And it's, trying to do sewer repairs in the middle of winter is not,
And it's flowing into a brook.
yeah.
Yeah.
And never mind. I'm not even going to- No, we don't even talk about the toads that are floating around.
How long would this construction take, do you think? Rough, any estimate of how long?
Yeah, better part of 3 months by the time we're
Okay.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll take 3 months.
You're talking about doing sewer line in 2 months, who, you have someone?
Well, the
doing-
excavating company that Ekman has hired is Bennett. He's supposed to come in and see Ellen to get the permit to lay sewer pipe.
Bennett?
Yeah. He's the Bennett Landscaping Excavation Company.
Where are they from?
They're from
Hampstead.
Hampstead.
How much money is left in the repair line for this year?
For the maintenance and operation.
Well, we haven't used a lot of it yet.
It was like $80,000 or something like that, isn't there?
Probably left over. Yeah, maybe.
Maintenance and repairs is 16,941.
But we still got some more little odds and ends to do.
16,000 in there.
And you
There's another line that's got like 80,000 in it.
Keep going down.
Go ahead.
You've got,
I&I or something like that, maybe.
No, it's sewer construction plus 20 years.
22,000, that's for administration.
Yeah, go down to the other side.
Principal bonus, 125.
What's that down there? The maintenance, that's the maintenance repair, yeah. Maintenance, this was 2013. 2013, maintenance and repairs are budgeted for 235,000. They have expended 14,821 so far.
You expended 14,000, so you have 200,000.
So there's 200,000 left.
Right.
Well, maybe you can get the plans done before the end of the year, and we can use that money.
We can,
You
if,
can encumber it.
Yes, we
through
can.
Through an agreement.
yeah, we can encumber it.
Let's get going.
Why are you still here?
I know. Hurry
All
up.
right. So we'll be meeting and talking long
See,
before the end of the
Thank
year.
Evelyn for the figures.
It'll be done before August.
Yes.
Definitely.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen, appreciate it.
It is, yeah. We still got to buy some land and covers, we still got some of that right odds and ends. Still got.
Nice to have met you. Nice to see you, Bill.
Take care, guys, good luck with it.
Oh, you had 108, you had 108. For other things.
Whatever you wanna do for your point repairs thing, that thing you put on my desk.
Mass Road sewer update.
Point repair.
Are we still discussing about? We still talking about Glen Ridge? We all set?
No, we're all good.
Okay.
Keep going.
Mass Road sewer update, long-term loan, term approval. We, you have provided, Kathy and you have provided revised figures through,
And the agreement, you have a copy of the agreement. The treasurer and the board of selectmen will sign that, or whoever signed the original. But they need the sewer commission's approval of the new agreement before
Right.
they'll do that.
which
It's
is,
It's actually, I just gave you a copy so that you would have the loan agreement. Yeah. It's the American Recovery era. Now, it should be somewhere in your packet there.
It's right here.
That.
I'm looking on right by it, sorry about that. Oh, I did, yep. Yep, okay. The supplemental, so I believe as we understand it, all we have to do is make a vote.
Right.
To approve the loan. They can just do execute the supplemental loan agreement, and it automatically changes, there's nothing else involved.
Right. And they can do that according to Catherine at their meeting next Monday.
And this will overall reduce the amount of interest we pay for the project,
Right.
which is a good thing.
Because the 10-year is principal and an admin fee only. There's no interest.
Right, and it's 120,
Right, they brought it down
126 to
somehow.
128, 126 to 128,000.
Actually, something that he did brought it down to 123.
Yeah,
plus.
he didn't, there's
Okay.
another one,
Every
something
year.
lower than that even.
And we'll pay it by October 1st of every year.
And this is what was voted on at town meeting, this is what was all agreed to, this is the same as it's always been?
Yes.
The
Yeah,
dollar
Dan
amounts are the
Fenno
same,
said
all
it
we're
was
doing is
just,
changing the interval payment, so we don't have to pay so
The
much
term.
interest.
Right.
The principal remains unchanged. Any further discussion, or do we want to make a
I
motion
think
to
I-
approve it?
I'm all set.
You want to do it? You
Yeah,
want
I
to-
mean, I'm just
Yeah,
waiting
I
for you
make a
to,
motion-
you have something to
I make a
add.
motion that we amend the ARA grant to reflect 0% interest over a 10-year term.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Ellen, please make a note of pass unanimously. Thank you. Well, you've been providing us information for a long time, so I appreciate it, both of you, on this. Channel Lane work invoice,
Yeah.
Is
This must be, he wants to
that
pick
Gary
this.
Moore? I remember something like this, but can somebody brief me back up on this again?
Well, they got a little association down there that takes care of the road. and our pump station is on that road, so we're actually a member of the homeowners association.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, they do some work down there, and that's just our share.
Well, the issue I have with that is, it says the bill's $471, and our share is $235.
Right, half of it.
But how many ways is it supposed to be split?
There's, I believe, 7 houses down there, and I was talking, one of the homeowners stopped me yesterday on my way out of there and said that their share was $70.
He's going to be at the zoning board today, you know.
Go for that deep pocket.
Well, I'm just,
Two different
If anyone wants to talk to him.
that's why I told Ellen not to pay it, because I'm,
Yeah.
Well, what's it based on, a 7-way split or frontage, or?
I think altogether
it
it
was
would be
based
about
on-
13 with the properties down there plus our pump station.
Well, tell them you'd like to see the original bill,
Which we have right here.
okay? And the original bill, oh, that's the one that's for
This is the whole bill, you got
That's
the cost.
471.53?
Yeah, yeah, he's got the
back.
cost for the hard pack on the back of $321.53, and then his time, which is $150, for a total of $471.53. So if there's 7 houses plus us, that's a minimum of 8. If there's more properties than that down there, then,
yeah, I came out to like $37 a piece or something when I did just the basic math, so.
Would you like to ask Mr. Moore to come and see
Well,
us
Ellen
next?
was supposed to talk to him and tell him we weren't paying this unless he explained exactly how he came up with $235.
Right, and I haven't done that yet
Oh, he
because I
could have been
wanted
here tonight
you
because
to
he's
see.
gonna be
Yeah,
at
I wanted you
CBA.
to see.
okay,
Don't we have a
well,
written agreement with them that would
I say,
describe? how
Yeah, it's
the
in here, it's
Well-
highlighted in the selectmen's minutes.
Okay.
From
Yeah, but
19,
that's
from
saying
20
it's
years
not a town
ago.
road.
That's just that we're not gonna make
Yeah,
a payment.
yeah, that's,
Yeah,
But if you look up the old minutes, like in the past years, you're gonna find out what you paid. Because this is not the first time this comes up.
no, we know, yeah, you're right, Mike.
Yeah, we usually pay,
We'll keep it consistent.
Like to plow, when Bruce Hunter was down there, we would pay, I think, $100 a year. And like I said, I don't have any problem with paying our share, but I'm just looking at this bill going, how,
well, what is our share? I think that's the first question. Is it based on frontages, or 1/7 or 1/13? What is our share? What percentage
It
is
should be
it?
laid out in a written agreement somewhere. I mean,
Why don't we find out what we paid, when we paid the last time for this and see what,
well, we've never paid,
I don't think we paid for,
I don't think
because
we've-
he just made a decision to do this on
Yeah,
his
Because the
own.
next door neighbor to me actually paved his whole section of the road, so that didn't need, I mean, he didn't use any mid-pack or anything, he's got a paved section, his whole frontage is all paved.
So,
well, I would suggest that we invite the association here to discuss this at our next meeting.
well,
I'm not sure
I don't
the
think there is no
association is still,
The association, I think, went away when
they
Bruce Hunter went away.
disbanded.
yeah, they just,
I
I
don't
believe
think
so.
there is
And
one.
I think it's just all individual people down there now, and, with,
And he's a new owner
Sure.
of 25 Channel. This is a brand new
well,
owner.
anyway, I think what we need to do is just, Ellen can, contact and say, we just needed, how did the 235.77, what is his determination of our share? Secondly, you probably can look back from the the old days when the pump station went in, we might have some sort of some text or agreement, but I'm guessing there probably wasn't anything, because we used to, say.
There's a
wow.
Channel Lane file, but
Yeah.
the association was disbanded
Yeah.
quite a while ago.
So, but just contact says, 235 is, almost,
Well, it's half.
50% of this, it really is, 50% of it, why are we paying 50% of the cost?
Can I ask you, did Mr. Moore contact anybody before he went ahead and did the
Well,
road?
We just sent this bill to Ellen.
Well,
What happened?
that's pretty good. I wish I could do that, but,
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
let
actually
me write you out a
came
bill.
into the office and during my lunch hour and talked to Renee Milson in the
Okay.
finance office. Said, here's a bill, I understand we've done this kind of thing before, and that was how I got the bill. So I didn't even see him bring it in.
Well, Mr. Moore needs to come before the commission, and he needs to understand that he can't order work to be done without our approval for payment
Well,
prior
He
to.
did it himself. He said he was
He,
the one who
we're,
did it.
we're only one member of that whole area down
Right.
there.
Well, we're not, because they just said the association no longer exists.
Well, we're still one member of that whole area down there, it's,
I
pump
understand that, but,
station.
I mean,
it's not, we don't rule the road.
And if he's a new owner, where's he getting his information from?
Right,
I mean, somebody's feeding him information anyway.
Well, the problem is he's at the very end of the road too, so he was spending the most time on that bumpy road.
By the
but you
footage.
still don't order work without getting a,
That's why I told Ellen not to pay it.
yeah.
But then, like I said, when I was down there yesterday, and a next door neighbor stopped me about another question, and she said, "Oh, did you get your bill for the road?" And she said her share was $70, but they gave
she
them
got a
$100.
bill. So she got
So
a
I'm like,
bill.
well, how did you
Get a bill.
get $100 or $70, and I got $235?
Was the frontage the same?
I would say so. All the lots are pretty much exact. I mean, I don't own but a postage stamp down there.
Yeah, we have the smallest lot down there.
And he should know better. He's a property manager.
That's how they get the.
No kidding.
Yeah. He should know better. That's no
Oh,
excuse.
slap it, never mind.
He should.
Just contact him if he wants to come in and, come in and talk to us, that'd be great, but until we get a better, we're not paying 50% of the cost.
That's right.
Enough said. Enough said on that. Sewer rate study is under the old business. I noticed we have, and I got a report from,
Yeah, Mike might have something more recent.
from Murray
Say
Hamilton.
about this report.
What's that?
I said, I have something to say about
Well,
this report.
Kathy, you always have something to say about something.
I know. Just wanted to make
Keep in
sure.
mind that it's in progress, nothing
It is in
final.
progress.
Well, that's one of the points I wanted to make.
That's from Mass Road.
Well, Mike, you want to fill us in before we turn the floor back over
Yeah,
to
some of this
Kathy?
duplicates the information that Ellen has given you, so
Right.
bear with me on that.
Okay.
And I preface this by saying I haven't discussed this in any depth with Murray Hamilton yet, who put financial analysis together to this point, so this is based on correspondence that I've received from him, correspondence that he sent to Ellen, and then my review of the numbers. But what I put in the package here is, first of all, an email from Murray to Ellen dated September 5th that kind of summarizes where things are at in his analysis. What he didn't have, which we received, I think, today or
No?
yesterday, is the
It's the CIP number.
Yes.
Right.
from Manchester.
And he
Yeah, I got those
doesn't,
this morning.
he doesn't have the audited figures
No.
either.
Correct.
Well,
Which is primary as far as I'm
Right.
concerned.
So, based on what he does have, this is where he's at. And then the second page is an email dated August 6th. Again, kind of summarizing things. There was some questions that he raised that he wanted to get answers to and additional information. Then after that, there's a memorandum from Murray to Ellen dated September 5th, which provides a bit more detail on his update of the rate study. And that has Table 1 attached to it, which kind of summarizes the whole sewer system budget, if you will. And following that, there's a memorandum dated August 26th from Murray to Ellen, just highlighting certain features and questions primarily. And then after that, I attached the sheet that has the CIP numbers or projection anyway from the city of Manchester. And then last but not least is the Sewer Commission's 2014 budget, or proposed budget. So, based on where he's at today, essentially what he's saying, if you go back to Table 1, which is page 5 more or less, you've got total revenues, and this is a test year analysis, okay, so he's kind of averaging things out here. But, you've got total revenues for the system of $2,170,887. And you've got total expenditures of $1,774,373. Then he's factored out some other things. So the bottom line is what he's seeing right now is that after current expenses, debt obligations, and so forth, you've got about $392,000 a year to use towards additional capital outlays. We tie that debt. And based on generally what he had seen so far, his initial assessment is it's probably not going to be adequate to meet your needs. So that's where we're at right now.
The one big issue I have with this test analysis report has to do with line 2, intergovernmental revenue. We have been trying to get an answer all day and yesterday as to what that actually represents.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Don Burrow isn't in this week. He's on vacation. And Evelyn is up to her eyeballs in the financial software and was very kind to get us the trial balance and financial statements that we used tonight, this afternoon for us, which I thank her very much because she's really got her back up against the wall this week. But the intergovernmental revenues of $629,000 that he's taken out, I don't know what that is, and I don't know if that's monies that is due from the ARA grant that we already had expensed out, and you can't subtract that from the income if you don't offset it by the expense. Just to let you know, prior to June of last year, that intergovernmental line was like 90,000. Sometimes it goes down to 20,000. So there was a journal entry made in June of last year, which would have been about the time the audit came through. It was in June. It is out now. It is not on the trial balance now. So that is where it is such a sizable amount. I don't know. That's the line I'm questioning,
So we
because
need to
that certainly
clarify
changed.
that.
Yeah, that's the line that needs clarification.
Yep.
And you think the audit, I wonder if the 2012 audit would do that?
Well,
When we
the
find
other
it.
thing is to put time at where we are right now until the audit comes out. These are assumptions, and they're pretty good assumptions based upon the income and expenses. Those are there, but there's a lot. The way we report and the way we adjust things on the trial balance at year end, the journal entries that we make from expenses to offset into liabilities and so on and so forth. Some of that has not been done yet and would be reflective in the audited figures. So these are pre-audited figures, and that's
Right.
concerning
And there's,
to me.
I sent,
Everybody understands that.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what he's doing is giving you a best guesstimate right now,
Right.
Correct.
as he works to
So if
complete
that
it.
629 comes out, and we only end up with like a $93,000 line there to remove,
Oh, sure.
look what that bumps up to the capital
It's a big
expenditure.
difference.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so.
Okay.
All right. If you'd like, we could do a conference call with Marley or something, and just have him, walk through a little bit more detail as to what his assumptions are.
I actually need the detail from the town hall as to what that line, what has happened to that line. Why was it 629,
Okay.
and why is it down to 90 now? And
All right, so you're trying to get more answers from,
I'm trying to get it from the town,
yeah.
town side. If I have anything, then,
Well, and also the possibility Murray may have some relevant information he could forward back to you as to where he got the
Could certainly
620,
check with him.
where he got the 629.
the 629 came right off of the trial
Okay,
balance.
it did.
The figure's right off.
Right off the
Right
trial
off the trial
balance.
balance.
Okay,
yeah,
all right. It's just a strange
Because
number.
I looked at the
It's just a
December-
strange number, 629, 629.
Maybe it's only supposed to be 629 and somebody just hit the
That's what I'm just,
Maybe it's only supposed to be 29 and somebody hit the 6
All right,
by mistake,
so-
but whatever. But
We need-
it's a,
we understand you need a clarification from town hall, and that would then assist Murray in what he's doing and help to bring this more relevant.
It's just a snapshot of where
Right.
we're at
Right.
at this point.
what's nice is to see the logic
Right.
in the study.
Yeah, I mean, he'll factor in over the 5-year analysis that factor in cost of inflation and things like that. So
And
that'll be taken into account.
And just to let you know, the lines that we got from the city today, the outlay through June 30th sum is incorrect by over $5 million. the outlay through June 30th is incorrect. No, the outlay, the July-August figure is overstated, is off by the 1223. It should be added in. And the...
This is the spreadsheet we got from Manchester.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah,
those figures are...
there's a new one.
There you go. The column H, outlays through June 30th, actually total $10,070,956.
What column did you,
What's that number?
The 100,709.56.
H.
H.
H, okay, thanks.
You're saying it's 10 million?
Yeah, 10,070,956. They balanced across, and the totals balanced down, but the individual columns didn't per year. The I total should be 329,714, which is the addition of the 1223 on the fourth line. And June George was frantic getting all this done for us too, so she reviewed it with Fred this morning.
There's a couple of formulas in the spreadsheet.
And the J column should be 832,1160, and that includes an additional $132,303 attributed to the West Side Pump Station. So if you take the figure that's there of 8188857,
Yeah.
which is a correct total, but you have to add in 132,303 for the
West Side.
West Side Pump Station. The total is 832,1160. When you take all those figures and add them across with the other year totals, you will then get to your 72.
807,906.
No, that's wrong too. That should be 70, what was the final, wait a minute, the next page. The total, which is the total, correct total. Oh, you didn't include that in here. I'll tell you in a second.
What's a few million?
Yeah.
It's off by $630.
630?
Yeah, it's off by $630 to agree with the totals on
Out
the
of the
second page.
$72 million, it's off by $630.
Right, but it didn't agree. We
Higher
don't have
or-
page 2.
630 high or low?
Do you have
Yeah,
page 2?
It's 630
Okay.
higher or lows, right.
Higher.
They
The
do have-
total that it should be is
Oh, it's right here on this one.
$72,808,536, the end total.
808.
808, right here on the second
Yeah.
page of this. I'm looking at Murray's, so that's why I was, this is,
The total at the end on the AB column is correct. The difference of the $630 is in line 5. You will see there's a typo there. It says $403,000, but when you go to the total on the second page on the AB side, you will see that the total there reflects $403,630.
I don't see it because I don't have a calculator running, but I'll take your word.
Here's 403,
403, yeah.
okay. And then you go over here, and
No,
it's 403,630.
Right.
And the lines add across to 403,630.
Okay.
For what it's worth,
Thank you.
that's what it, so instead of you thinking it's gonna be $5,300,000 outlays through June 30th, 13, it's actually $10,070,956, according to what they have put in those columns. So that's a big difference for the outlays.
And we still have paid nothing.
And we still have, and we
Projects.
haven't paid anything this year.
Anything for the projects this year yet.
4 million and 3 million is more than 5.
But the good news
Do you
is,
think the
good news is that when you take the 4.11% of the 10 million, it comes to $413,916, and we budgeted $900,000 for the
Right.
line this year. So it's within budget.
Right.
That's the good news.
do you think that the individual values on each row, for example, in column H, are correct?
When you add all of those, well, column, I don't know if they're correct or not. When you add the total, you get the 10 million.
You see, you get 10 million right there, you get
Wondering
7.
if there's any,
Yeah, I mean, because there's 7 right
potentially
there.
any errors on any line items there.
June would have to, because all of the, if you add them across, they do equal the total line items.
Okay.
They balance across, and the two project costs.
The offer on that, Mike, is like the pump station upgrade, which is line 4. It was supposed to be, projected to be 4.5 million. It's done at 4.4 million. It's almost done. So, I mean, I'm guessing that for the most part, those projects that are nearing completion and reflect the actual cost versus the projected cost are very close. So I'm guessing that, you know, it's just a matter of the spreadsheet.
Yeah, the I and the J.
spreadsheet needs a look at the bottom line.
The I and the J are good.
Based on the 72 million, it sounds like the individual line items are correct. It's just the formula that's in there for totaling at the bottom
The summation totals are all off, yeah.
as an issue.
I don't think she summed. I think she, after she got all of the things balanced across and down, when the final thing, she just spit it out and she just didn't press the sum button.
As you have so eloquently put it, the concern is that we have enough money in our budget for it. Thank you.
This is the cover that explains the additional $132,303 for the pump station. I didn't know if anybody wanted it. I don't know if you, did you bring one?
Yeah.
Could you pass that down to Mike? Oh. So, and if I'm not mistaken, last year, when I was looking at some reports before, we were at 62 million. So we've increased the cost 10 million in a year.
Well, as they have alluded to, a lot of it was early projections based on a facilities plan over there. And as they start to get into the design process and start to iron out the real cost, it goes up.
Yeah, and I think, as we've discussed many times before, the key issue is, at least for the capital upgrades in Manchester, is just going to be timing. When these individual projects hit, whether there's overlap, and of course how it's going to be financed.
Correct. And we'll have to address it as it comes along, because they don't even know right now. I mean, they're working on that. 2014 budget presentation on September 16th. Kathy, are you going to be able to do that for us?
I am, if I can get it.
Just did it.
I know. This was a perfect rehearsal, I think.
Oh, do you have cable?
Now, let me tell you something. I got this at 10 o'clock this morning.
It only gets the accounting network.
Yeah, it only gets the accounting. I'm in pretty good shape. I think you've got, Ellen, you gave them all.
Right, I gave them, everybody has this highlighted.
The one thing that we're having a little bit of trouble getting a hold of is the, do you have the budget in front of me? Okay, I don't want to go through there's the regular wage lines, because we were looking to hopefully get them split out by employees. Ellen's on the top line, that $104,034. That includes Ellen, Mike Yergos, Mike Walton's, the money we pay for the finance help every month to the town, and DPW contracted services.
Is that relevant? You need that broken out for the budget meeting? Is that what you're saying?
I just
I'm going to ask
thought it was
Linda,
kind of low.
but
I thought it was a low, but
but
no, I don't think I need to, no.
Oh, okay.
Because this is still a working budget.
right.
And we've always gone there explaining to them that this is, it's still working, but the majority of the things that we need to present are going to be, of course, Manchester wastewater treatment plant, they're gonna wanna know about. Everything else is pretty on board, and we can certainly talk about Manchester Waste, Temple Street, I can
That's
throw out there.
pretty consistent with other departments are presenting.
Is
I
it?
mean, they may break out the full-time versus part-time, but they don't get down to the
The individual, yeah.
individual staff level.
And in the past, it's been very similar.
Yeah, that'll come eventually, but.
And
Yeah.
for as many years as we've been here as a board, we haven't gone out of business yet, so.
Working on it.
And there was an increase, we increased, I guess, the line for the computers and
Yes.
communication was increased
Yeah.
because Derek sent around something that we needed a maintenance
The
agreement.
maintenance fee is gonna start in 2014, not 2015.
No, so it's moved up now.
Right. So the maintenance fee of 2339 was added into that line. So when the original line that we looked at was not as high as 54027. So the bottom line now is 1748217 is our budget.
And the principal bond expense line does reflect the new figure
Right, the
for
10.
the ARA grant for the 10-year,
Yeah.
0% interest.
Okay.
So the only loans we're paying now are gonna be Mast Road and Knollcrest.
And Oldcrest is.
Knollcrest will be done in 2016.
Next, yeah, okay. I was thinking that was 15, but okay.
You have to think of something else to do.
Pardon?
Have to think of something else to do.
You'll be down in Glen Ridge.
Well,
I
that's
was say,
fine.
we're gonna give you Glen Ridge and Elwood right now. Something like out of the
Well,
Blues Brothers.
we'll get more to go after that.
And then I don't have any problem going, and then if I
Okay, thank
get
you.
stumped on a question, I just tell them we'll get back to them.
Yeah, that's very good.
Steve Collins.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hard time visioning you getting stumped, Kathy.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's figure this out.
all right.
I'll see the meeting.
Approval, bills, pay, yeah. Table warrant. Any
I-
other businesses warranted?
I did have a little thing I wanted to.
You have
bring.
another thing. Kathy, I can't imagine you not having something today.
No. Well,
Did you sign?
I wanted to
I-
bring
I
up
will
the
sign.
Cody issue. And I just wanted to
Oh.
bring up something to put on the table for consideration. I was unaware of when we discussed all this and we realized that after Mike Yurgo that we were going to be increasing his units, treatment units, but I was unaware of that his restaurant closes at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He's open from maybe 6 or 7 in the morning
He
till
opens at
1 in the afternoon.
4 in the morning.
4:30.
Okay.
He's open before anybody else in town is, I
All right.
believe.
I just thought I'd bring that up because
Did we change the units?
I haven't changed them yet.
We said he is eligible, the letter I believe said he is, based on the seating count, he is, he by rights should be paying a higher, treatment units, but we didn't say we were changing it, if I'm correct. Am I paraphrasing that right, the way we wrote that?
No change was made on the current bill.
So he should be happy with what he has, right?
Should be.
Well, it's no different than you've got Sawyer's open from 6:30 till noon. I mean, it's actually less hours than.
Yeah,
The
I
thing
mean,
is-
but it's whether it be Sawyer's or whether it be
No, I
Cody's,
mean,
it's just,
it's no different what time, I mean, he's open 8 hours from
He's in
4:30
business
to.
8 hours, he has the capacity to be there even longer, so I mean,
It could be there 24 hours.
we bill on the capacity, that's how we have to do it, they have the ability, I say, to discharge that amount, that amount.
Once you start screwing around with the days they're open, or the hours they're open, anything like that, then you're deviating from the chart that we use for everybody in town, which is what we're hanging our hat on with Highland Village, that this is the chart, this is what we use, and there's nothing else to talk about. So if you start
Equality
you know,
for everybody.
yeah.
doing things here and doing things here, then all of a sudden they're gonna be lined out down the street looking for a deal.
Well, then,
No, really.
it's
Yeah,
like-
No, everyone's
You're
treated
right,
the same.
you're right.
It's like you're asking public service to give you a better rate at night because you're sleeping, so therefore you're not using anything other than heat maybe, so therefore I should have a better rate. It doesn't happen.
Well,
You
they're
know-
working on that, did you,
Well,
they've got it in commercial already. Industrial and commercial, they already have
Yeah, and I
that.
have it, and I have industrial property, and you peg that little red meter up once,
Yeah.
and that's all it says. You might only use 1/4 of that 11 months out of the year, but you pay based on that. So it's,
And Northern Pass take care of all that.
oh yeah, that's right, I'm waiting for that.
Plug it right in.
But wait a minute, Vermont Yankee just went out of business, so therefore that goes.
Drop in the bucket.
All right. Anything else?
No, I'm all done, that's all I wanted to say.
Very good. I do have, I guess, one other thing is, it's been brought to my attention that, Ellen, I believe this is your 5th year anniversary with us.
Yeah, today.
Unbelievable.
Today.
You're eligible.
And on behalf of the Sewer Commission,
Oh, those are
a little token of our esteem.
Steve thought those were his.
I know. Oh, you're a grandfather now. Come on, you got it.
Congratulations.
Come to the club.
So thank you.
There's no turning back now.
No, no.
We appreciate the 5 years. I actually can't believe it's been 5 years, but
You know,
it goes by too fast, so.
Yes, I've been here, wow.
Yeah, believe me. Any other business before we close for the evening?
Just one thing.
What's that?
I make
The
a
Rails
motion-
to Trails is going to be closing in probably some point in time. Where the old Henry Bridge used to be, they're going to be closing it in.
We're gonna fill it in and make it that grade crossing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're going to end up putting a sleeve in,
Okay,
so that if anything, if the pump station ever happens in the bottom of Henry Bridge in that area down there, but we have to put in a pump station and pump it up to the Mass Road area. But also, we're seeing some developments off of Mass Road by the Irving, starting to come into play. There's some planning board reviews and that we've gone through. We're probably going to end up putting an extension at some point in time to the old brick house from the Irving, so we can someday connect the Force Main to the old down in the Henry Ridge Village at some point in time. So that's the sleeve will come into play in the next few years.
okay.
What do you think that cost?
I haven't got a clue.
It's just, you're putting in just like a
It's a sleeve, just to have a 6-inch main go through it.
yeah, steel pipe or, put in a, or, heavy duty, PVC pipe or something like that. Okay. I mean, the option is in the future, if we don't do the sleeve, we can also directional drill, but if you get the opportunity to drop a sleeve in while the backfilling operation's going on.
Well, there's a water main that goes through there. They're gonna sleeve for the water main.
Oh, okay, so. All right, that's good, yeah, that's how we got 114, we planned on it.
Yeah, and I mean, the economic development, I mean, there's been a couple guys that have been looking at the properties there
Right.
on that little route, so.
Very good, we'll, continue, you'll continue to monitor it and go forward from there. Any other business for this evening before we adjourn? In that case, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, meeting adjourned at 6:32. Warrant